Welcome to Lesson 23, Journal Entries. Typically, I tell you to log into the sample QuickBooks Online account as discussed in Lesson 4. However, for this particular lesson, I am going to be demonstrating from a sample Ironworkers account that uses your new standardized chart of accounts and you don't have access to it. So for this lesson, rather than working along with me, just sit back, relax, and watch. In manual accounting, transactions are recorded in a journal. Thankfully, QuickBooks Online does not require us to manually enter our transactions. Most of them will download automatically, as you've seen, from our bank and credit card feeds. However, occasionally you will be required to make a manual entry. And in honor of old school accounting, these entries are called journal entries. A journal entry consists of the following parts: a unique identifier, usually a number, the appropriate date, the accounts and amounts that will be debited, the accounts and amounts that will be credited, and a short description. A journal entry will always have a debit and a credit. As a rule, the total of the debit column is always equal to the total of the credit column. If you're not sure which account receives the debit and the credit side of a transaction, you may need to consult your accounting professional for guidance. So, when might you need to manually enter a journal entry? The reality is that most journal entries will be initiated by your accountant in order to make annual depreciation adjustments or to correct errors that are discovered during an audit. But there is one example that is fairly common right now in the ironworker world. Quite a few of you utilize a third-party payroll company that is not directly linked to your accounting system. So the payroll company processes your payroll and then sends you a report, and you must create a journal entry to update your accounting records. Now, if you switch to QuickBooks Online Payroll, all payroll-related entries will be made to your accounts automatically. And we encourage all of you to consider this option. But for the sake of learning how to make a journal entry, let's use payroll as the example, and I'll pretend that I just received the report you see on my screen from my payroll company. To create a journal entry, select the New button with the plus sign at the top of the navigation bar, then select Journal Entry. In the Journal Date field, enter the transaction date. QuickBooks Online will automatically enter the current date, but if you're recording a journal entry from a previous day or month, be sure to enter the correct date. QuickBooks Online will automatically number any new journal entries sequentially. So the first journal entry you create will be number 1, the second will be number 2, etc. Now you enter the first distribution line. In this example, we're entering our current payroll. The first account from your chart of accounts is Salary, Officers, number 1495010. This is an expense account, and we are debiting it by $6,025. That is the total salary amount for our officers this pay period. The second account is Per Diem Officers, number 1495015. And we are debiting this account by $325. That is the total per diem amount for our officers this pay period. The third account is Salary Employees, number 1495030. And we are debiting this account by $1,450. That is the total hourly pay for our non-officer employees this pay period. Now we have accounted for the gross total pay. But as everyone knows, the folks don't get paid that gross amount because we are required to withhold taxes from their checks. So the fourth account is Payroll Taxes / Withholdings Due, number 1302115, and we are crediting this liability account in the amount of $2,341.70. We also withheld $400 for credit union withholding, number 1302116. So we will credit this liability account as well. In addition to their salaries, we are reimbursing officers for some expenses. So we will debit the officer's expenses account, number 1495020, for $75 in mileage. Debit the officer's expenses account, number 1495020, for $125 in conference fees. And debit the postage shipping costs account, number 1535290, for $20 in postage. Notice the description column to the right. That would be a great place to put in why you're debiting certain lines. So we could put mileage, conference fees, and shipping costs in the description column. Finally, we will credit the checking account, number 1221110 in this case, in the amount of $5,278.30. Notice that once we have accounted for every transaction, the totals for the debit and credit columns are the same. If a journal entry does not balance, you know you're doing something wrong. Finally, let's talk about that description column again. It's optional, but note that if you do enter line item descriptions of what you're doing, those descriptions will appear on reports. Save the journal entry. When you record a transaction with a journal entry, QuickBooks Online labels the transaction as journal in the register or account history, and journal entry on reports that list transactions. So let me give you an example. Select Accounting, Chart of Accounts, and scroll down to the Salary Officers account, number 1495010. Select Run Report from the Action column. Notice the amount allocated to salary officers appears on the report, and you can see Journal Entry in the Transaction Type column. Clicking Journal Entry will open the transaction so that you can review or edit it if necessary. You can also create a report within QuickBooks Online to keep track of your journal entries. Select Reports from the navigation bar and locate the report called Journal. Now I just want the report to show journal entries, so scroll to the top of the report and click the Customize button. In order to run the report exclusively for journal entries, go to the Filter area and choose Journal Entry under Transaction Type. Then run the report. As you can see below, the Journal Report feature has pulled a report showing only your journal entries. You can save this report within your system with the customizations you made to the transaction type. So go to Save Customization, and I'll call the report My Journal Entries. Now, if I go to Reports on the navigation bar, notice under Custom Reports, I can run this report as needed. For practice, we will enter another journal entry that would be made once we pay the withholding taxes, the employer matching taxes, and any fees related to the payroll. Select the New button with the plus sign at the top of the navigation bar, then select Journal Entry. The first account from your chart of accounts is Employer Portion of Payroll Taxes, number 1656530. We will debit the account for $596.70. The second account is Payroll Processing Costs, number 1535270. We will debit the account for $75. The third account is Payroll Taxes / Withholdings Due, number 1302115, and we will debit this liability account in the amount of $2,341.70. Finally, we will credit the checking account, number 1221110, in the amount of $3,013.40. Our journal entry is balanced, so save the transaction. Now I will go to Reports and under the Custom Reports tab, run that report I customized earlier called My Journal Entries. And there I see both of my journal entries. If I go to Accounting, Chart of Accounts, and scroll down to my Payroll Taxes / Withholdings Due account, number 1302115, I can select Run Report in the Action column and see where I withheld the taxes in the first journal entry and paid the taxes in the second journal entry. Now that account has a zero balance. Do not be overwhelmed by what to enter into a journal entry because your accounting professional will guide you through that aspect. From this lesson, I just need you to be comfortable with how to actually create a journal entry and to be comfortable with running various reports to examine the results of your journal entry. Thankfully, journal entries will be a rare occurrence in your life.